are you supposed to be cursing?
I thought I saw you late last night in Brooklyn,
Oh my goodness. Merry Christmas to you, hanging round the mistletoe. So we've been doing this for 20 years now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
20 years.
Yeah, because it was 2002 when we did our first.
That's when we did the gig in Fort Greene. We had like 8 of us.
Yes.
And Brooklyn Marty, the old borough president.
Marty Markowitz.
Marty Markowitz, right? And they had the Cake Man Raven, right, with his amazing
Red Velvet.
cupcakes.
Cupcakes,
Yeah. And that was 20 years ago. And 19 years ago, it was 2003, technically.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much been our bread and butter for the winter ever since. Almost right away, right?
I don't know I don't know how we even got to deciding that you were going to be Santa, but we did a bunch of gigs that December.
The other gig we did, because
that was brand new. We had just started it.
Right.
All we did was put you in a costume and take pictures and put you up online.
We did
and
that corporate
They weren't
event.
even digital pictures.
MySpace, right?
No, there was no MySpace yet.
This is still before MySpace. That's how old we are. We predate MySpace.
We had like a GeoCities website for a while.
GeoCities website.
And then we had the real website.
Yeah.
And then I took pictures of you and I scanned them. I put them up because I didn't have a digital camera.
Kids today on Instagram have no clue what they missed. And that same week, that same Christmas, 2003, I think, because I was working in SoHo, in NoHo, technically, or no, SoHo, right? Houston
on
and
the
Broadway.
border of NoHo and
doing a
Soho.
promotional job.
Yeah.
And I was dressed as Santa for the heck of it. And somebody said, hey, you got to come do my party. So we did
Really?
that. Remember the IT? We were like dancing. It was like
I
you,
remember
me,
that,
and 2 or 3
yeah.
others. So that kind of got us going. We took pictures of that.
Yeah,
All
we
of a
made
sudden,
some money off that. We were excited.
We
were
did make some money off of that,
we
yeah.
made some money. We could actually make money
I
playing
made a
Santa.
little money doing the Fort Greene thing, helping, going around the trolley and giving away a lot of free clothes and
That was fun.
stuff for the kids, toys and stuff. And so I think those 2 gigs were like the first 2 Santa gigs that we did, right? And then almost right away, we put it on Craigslist. Craigslist is the other thing we used to market ourselves.
Yes.
Right? So Craigslist, before it was, Craigslist now is just creepy and stuff. No, who uses Craigslist anymore, I guess, right? But that second year, I started getting gigs from Craigslist, I think, and MySpace and a couple other places, right? And I started getting on the Greyhound bus and going to Pennsylvania, Syracuse, and charge decent amount of money because that covered the bus. It was like $150 for the bus round trip. And I would be stuck in Syracuse during a snowstorm and going to a retirement home to do Elvis.
Yeah, you did Elvis.
I did Elvis gigs too, right? And
I forgot about the Elvis.
yeah, we did Elvis gigs.
You don't do the Elvis anymore.
No, I did Fat Elvis for a while, and then even that became. I kept splitting the costume. One too many gigs where you're like, there's a hole in the crotch. After a while, it got weird. So 20 years. At some point, we started producing our own events. Like, because most people who do Santa, they book through an agency, and somehow just early on, because we were marketing, we were on social media early, right? MySpace, yada,
You keep
yada.
saying MySpace, but I don't remember it being such a big, actually getting us stuff, because people just didn't take it seriously back then.
No, but I think there was a time when nobody took it seriously, but just enough people did. I think we booked, we would do the improv comedy, right? So I think we booked the college gigs doing improv comedy because we were on MySpace when no one else, because other people didn't take it seriously. When the agencies were still paying thousands and thousands of dollars to be in the yellow pages. And we did that one time, we realized, oh, what a waste of money.
That was a waste
in
of money.
2004, 2005.
Yeah, that was a waste
At
of
that
money.
point, it was all on MySpace. And then eventually, the Twitter or my Facebook
It
come
was
first?
people on Google just searching
Google
for us.
searches, yeah, Google ads early on.
Yeah.
But I'm not used to all this hair. Like, this is my first year being a real beard Santa, and I'm still getting used to it. 20 years of having this fake full beard, but I'm much more comfortable inside.
Now you can eat with the beard
I can
instead
eat.
of
That's always a plus.
the fake beard. You'd get stuff caught in it,
Right.
or it just messed up and get dirty.
Right. Oh, that one time I got the lobster tails and I got the chocolate. And somehow
Lobster
we're
tail,
at-
not the
we're on
regular.
Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, Little Italy,
I know, I messed
at
up
our
your beard.
Chusso's.
That's
And I
expensive
take a
beard.
picture with the baker
Yeah.
holding a lobster tail. Great, we still have that picture. It's a great picture.
Yeah, but
we
that
get back to
beard-
the office. I got chocolate in. I don't know how I got chocolate in my hat. I had chocolate in my
I
hat.
don't know, the
I had
beard-
chocolate in the beard. We had to like throw the whole thing out. Luckily, I had a spare.
Those are expensive beards.
They were very expensive. Was I wearing the good one yet? I don't
Yes.
think- was that the good one? At some point, we used to wear much cheaper beards.
No, that was a really nice
Not
beard.
both of us. I
that
wore the
was
beards.
a
You didn't
very,
wear a
very
beard.
nice beard because
Yeah.
I remember pulling it out of the
Yeah.
a box and being
It's like
like,
an
oh,
$80
this is
beard.
really nice.
Yeah.
And we had to like kind of groom it a little bit.
Right.
We had to fix it, and then
It
we
was too
fixed it
much.
for you, and then you ate the chocolate thing in it, and it all got messed up.
Right. Too many
Someone
cookies.
like stuffed cheese in your face the other day. I was like,
Yeah. Well, now that we're doing Arthur Avenue now, I think
yeah,
for
but they're
15
like,
years.
You know me, I'm a germaphobe.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Wait, did he have it? No, I think he cut it though. He put it.
He cut
gave
the
it
cheese?
on a fork. He cut the cheese, and he had a fork or a
no,
knife.
he like took his hand
He
and
take
like
it-
put
he
it
did-
in
he-
your
he
mouth.
did do that,
And
didn't
I
he?
was like,
No, I thought he gave it a fork, and I pulled it off the fork. No.
I would have just bitten the end of it and been like, I'm good.
But he's like working in a restaurant.
Stuffed it in my
He's
pocket.
washing his hands all day long. That Parmesan
You've never worked
cheese.
in restaurants before.
It's a real Parmesan cheese. It's like potent. I think there's like.
Yeah, but then you touched it with your hand that had the glove, and you meant like
I've been touching a lot of kids.
that doesn't
That
sound
does
right.
sound. Oh, we can cut that, right? That didn't sound good.
No, but you're interacting with a lot of kids and taking pictures with a lot of kids, so it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, when you're posing for pictures, they just, I don't know. They come up
Kids
to you.
are just germ factories,
You
aren't
just-
they?
yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? But you've been doing the hand punch a lot, which is better.
Yeah.
But they still are like, Santa.
Yeah. Very few hands, very few holding hands or high fives. It's more fist bump.
Yeah, fist bumps are better.
Yeah. I've
Except
done
when I
full,
take the picture of you, it looks like you're punching children.
I'm gonna be a germophobic Santa and only do like what's his name from America's Got Talent.
No, I remember when you were doing this a lot, and
Yeah.
I would take a picture from behind, and it looked like you were punching a baby.
Oh, good. That's always a plus. You need to put more of those on the website.
Santa's punching babies
Yeah.
everywhere.
Santa's punching below
You're
his
just like going
class.
around there.
Yeah. He's fighting below his class. He's like, you're supposed to punch up. I'm punching babies. So what was the first year you think where we really, at some point, we started doing about 40 gigs every Christmas, like 4 or 5 a day, and some days. I remember one day we were still living in Manhattan, and I wasn't charging that much yet, but just off of Craigslist getting gigs. And we were living in Washington Heights at the time, and I would go from house to house, like apartment to business, and I would just stay dressed all day. I'd do about 5 gigs, and I have about an hour and a half break, take the subway, take a cab, go from gig to gig to gig to gig, and just bounce around all over the city doing 4 or 5 gigs a day.
Yeah, there were a couple times you overdid it and you couldn't keep up with them all.
I was exhausted.
There were a couple that you had to miss, you had to skip out on.
Did I miss any?
Yeah, there were a couple that you just got. There was too much.
Was it just got sick or something? Or?
No, you had too much going on.
Yeah.
It was literally.
Did I overbook myself? Or,
Yeah, you're overbooked.
Well, the worst case, I haven't done this in a long time. It was 12 years ago, there was that gig in Jersey I did about 2 or 3 years in a row. And then somehow I wrote it down the wrong day. And we were doing a road gig for the IMPROV show, and you guys dropped me off. It was right across the river, near MetLife Stadium maybe, like over that area.
even remember any of
Teterboro,
this.
and you guys dropped me off at the gig, and you were gone. And I went inside, and I was getting ready to go into the gig.
We dropped you off and
And
left.
you dropped me off because you were going to go back. I was just going to meet you back in the city, right? I take the train home. I get in there, and they said, "Oh, you were supposed to be here last night."
Oh,
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Something like got mixed up.
Yeah.
then that happened a
you
couple
get
times.
crazy busy. Early on, we were not organized yet, and I think that year I started using spreadsheets or something like that. Eventually, I got
They
organized.
didn't call you and tell you the night before, like, where
I don't
are
think
you?
they called me. I think they were too pissed. I felt terrible.
I do remember one. It was like an older like retirement home we went to, and we were running late, but we got there. We
Yeah.
got there on time, thankfully. But
I was out in Trenton, or near Trenton.
it was let me hop out and go do Santa. that was like, we showed up, we had
That
to
became
park.
our mantra.
We had to go park,
Yeah.
and you're like, guys, I'm going to jump out and go do Santa. You guys get ready, and we'll meet you in there.
Yeah.
You're like, let me hop out and go do Santa. Yeah, and that's what started
And
all
you guys
that.
go park.
You guys
And
can
that-
park
yeah.
the car. Just drop me up front. I'll run in.
How many times we call that every time we're running late for a gig? Or
Anytime we're running late for a gig, we're like, why don't you hop out and do Santa?
We're at the JCC one time. You hop out and do Santa
do Santa
at the JCC. But that's also the same gig. The following week we went there. We did improv comedy plus Santa, and we did the whole. I think it was Some Like It Hot, with what's his name at the bottom of the pool.
You did like old stuff.
Yeah, they were 80.
Yeah, they were
so,
older people.
But they loved us that we had old movie references.
Yeah.
You know, what's his name? William Holden at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah,
and
that
they're like,
was-
oh, they know our movies.
It's Sunset Boulevard or something like that.
Right. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of road gigs, a lot of stories. But I think the good stories, though, like we've been doing Arthur Avenue for 15 years, right? And we don't do a lot of marketing. It's all repeat business. So we messed up a couple, but we didn't mess
out of
up most of
thousands,
them. Yeah.
that's not bad.
No, we're batting better than 500.
Yeah.
But yeah, 15 years of great food and eggplant on Arthur Avenue, Little
Sorry.
Italy in the Bronx, right?
Excuse me. No,
And,
you're almost like you're worried about the food, and
I'm always worried about the food.
Yeah.
I'm probably too worried about the food, but I'm Santa.
You're like,
That's the best part about
15
being
years
a
of
character
great
actor.
food.
Like when I do TV work, I don't have to worry about
Like
fitting
15
into my
years
costumes.
of great food. I'm like,
They're all
wait.
baggy clothes. Like all the skinny actresses, like they're
That's
like
what I'm saying.
picking.
Maybe it's not a good thing for you not to have the beard
Yeah.
because it prevented you from eating everywhere you went.
Just saying,
It's
I
not
need to
the
go on a diet.
healthiest thing in the world.
Yeah. I turned down a lot. Less now that I have a real beard. When I had the fake beard, I have kids coming up to me, hey, Santa, want a cookie? I said,
Oh, well, that's different.
well, the worst is we're at these parties where they're
Those
making
kids- yeah, I'm not-
homemade gingerbread cookies.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat those.
And their hands have been all over it, molding it like
no,
clay.
no,
And I'm like, I'm not a germaphobe, but still, that's no.
No, they come up and give you
Yeah.
a cookie from their hands.
I do like asking kids though, what am I getting for Christmas? Like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? They have a very important question. What is Santa getting? Like, what kind of cookies? Homemade chocolate chip. And my favorite thing to say though is talk about. I like oatmeal raisin, but not when you're expecting chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, I've
Right?
heard that joke about
I
1,000
know.
times
You've
now.
heard the joke.
I don't want to hear it again.
But the world hasn't.
That was funny when, because you have, we go into all those different stores on Arthur Avenue. We just go store to store to take pictures with
Right.
people. Because basically the business people that are paying for us to be there, so we go in. You've got a little bit of something hanging now.
Okay, with a foam,
It's from, yeah.
beer foam. You got a nice head on there. No, seriously, a good IPA, good
I'm
head.
not going to say anything. I'm not
You
gonna
don't have to twist that.
say I can't help
All
it.
right. Okay. No, the kids might see this.
Well, Santa isn't always for children. We do parties for adults
That's
too.
true.
We do
That's
corporate
true.
parties, so
We've done a few bad Santa jobs on
I don't know if
purpose.
they're bad Santa. They're just like
Well, they want bad Santa.
they don't want bad Santa. They're kind of a little. It's like a
Well, the murder mystery.
it's like a company Christmas party, which everyone else is the bad Santa, not us.
Right, that's true. That's true. Why do people?
They fetishize Santa.
Yeah, right.
It's creepy. I don't like it.
I would say women that would never touch me
I know.
otherwise.
I've noticed.
When I'm dressed as Santa,
Yes, they
just
wanna-
wrap themselves around. Maybe they're
Yep.
cold, they're very skinny.
No, they're trying to be. I don't know what they do, but it's I'm just like it's
They're
weird.
like, oh, let me break down to my most exposed layer that I can get in public and take a picture with Santa.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the same thing when people like get up dressed up for Halloween. It's kind of like that, right?
Yesterday I'm at a gig, and it's mostly
I mean, there's
kids.
nothing wrong with it, but
No.
if you're not comfortable being touched
Right.
or grabbed, it's a little bit.
I'm not that picky. I'm
Consent
like, wow, I'm
is
not
important.
used to it. I'm not used to that many women at one time throwing themselves at me, and
Well, it's just for the.
I feel like
it's
I'm
for the
Elvis.
gram.
All right, I feel like I'm really Elvis.
It's for the picture.
It is for the Insta. But, I'm at this swanky private club yesterday. I won't get too many details. I won't say where it was. I'm mostly there for the kids. Big brunch, doing pictures with the kids.
And all the moms
Very
were
cute
like,
kids.
Santa.
All the moms, the nannies. Apparently, and some of the staff, apparently there was a competition.
Santa, I need to see a
an
candy cane.
There was an ugly Christmas sweater competition.
Oh.
And so, but the so-called ugly sweaters were all like really tight,
Sexy Mrs. Claus.
sexy sweater vests or dresses.
Of course.
And then in some cases,
You don't really want to be ugly.
less. And then like 3 at a time. Oh, Santa, you liking this Santa? I was like,
It's like the Halloween thing.
I'm
You get dressed. It's
married.
another. It's like an extended Halloween.
they're like trying to get me in trouble with you.
I don't give a crap.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
We went to the German festival. These women were like trying to dance with you.
Well,
And I was
because I'm the only guy who can dance.
oh, well, there you go.
I know how to dance. I can do a little polka, a little waltz.
Yeah.
The other German guys, they just slap their butt and like, hey, look, we're dancing.
That's like, yeah, right. But
And they call it dancing.
people get a little creepy with the elf too. But like,
Well, that's the other thing.
I just
mean,
am like, it's okay. We're cool.
when there's a
Just-
sexy elf, there's always one guy that didn't get the notice on the Me Too movement.
No.
There's one guy. Well, even at the murder mysteries, there's always one guy that's like, dude, I know you're paying us to be here. Not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool. You gotta set some boundaries.
Well, no, you just set boundaries.
Yeah.
But you
There's
gotta do that
yeah.
with Santa too. Just be like, you do the same thing. Just be
Every
like,
once in a while, I've never been
personal
groped.
space.
I've been
consent.
pinched.
No,
I've been
you have to
spanked.
say, hey, Santa. Consent is a thing, even
Yeah.
with Santa. I want to be on the naughty list.
That's true. But we did it for an entire season via Zoom.
Oh, you want to talk about the pandemic?
No,
stuff?
because I think it's important.
That's so
'cause
not exciting.
it's not exciting, but I think the last 3 years, the way we transitioned into Zoom and then back out of it,
That was the worst.
the last 3 years, like this year, the past 8 months, are busier than pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
We're busier now than we've ever been before. I'm turning down more jobs now.
Yeah, I like it better this
we're
way.
getting
I
paid
don't like
better,
the Zoom Santas.
right? Because after, there's always,
I
because
don't
after,
like Zoom anything.
I didn't love Zoom anything, but I was always amazed how we're able to reach people around the world. I'd be doing a show, playing piano, singing
Right.
as Santa, or the improv comedy, or doing other shows, just
Right.
singing rock and roll tunes, whatever, just piano bar type thing, via Zoom, via Facebook, via whatever, and having people from around the world chiming in.
Right.
And from Australia, from Israel,
Yeah, that part's cool.
Norway, I always thought it was an interesting, the world got, as much as we are like, because it's New York, we didn't go outside for 14 months. The whole city was shut down for 14 months, right?
Yeah.
And we were some of the people that stayed here, and we made it work. We transitioned our whole business online, totally by accident. We discovered Zoom by accident, yada, yada, yada. It's a new medium that's
Yeah.
available to us. And now that I do it like once a week, or once every
Yeah,
couple weeks.
that's different. Once a week is fine.
It's interesting.
When
to
it's
me.
like
That's a whole
nothing
new
but Zoom
thing.
and you're not
Yeah.
actually talking to people,
Right.
having that personal interaction with people face to face,
Right.
it's not the same.
Right. It's not.
Absolutely
it's
not the same.
But I think
Especially the magic of seeing
Yeah.
Santa through a screen is not the same as seeing you in person.
But there are times like the kids are there, they're not expected to see Santa. Or even when we're walking around Arthur Avenue with somebody, they FaceTime, the older guys on Arthur Avenue, they call
right,
up
they
their daughters.
FaceTime their children.
And they FaceTime with their grandkids, say, hey, I got Santa here, right?
Yeah.
And the kid's like, although the one kid, this never happened to me via video before.
The one kid ran away.
The one kid was terrified of Santa via
was funny.
FaceTime. That was
That was
hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious.
I always think it's funny when they
Yeah.
freak out about
It's always
Santa.
funny. It's sad when it's like a 9-10-year-old. That's like
I know.
that kid needs therapy. Well, one of the reasons I brought up the pandemic is because, or not the pandemic itself. One of the reasons I brought
I
up
hated it.
doing Zoom shows. What I thought was weird about 2021, as things open up again, there was that, are we back or are we not back?
Yeah,
You know
it was
what I
a
mean?
weird
We're
place.
back, but are we comfortable doing things? And so 2021 was like a weird year for gigs, because some people are back too gung ho too soon. Some people are too timid, too late. We did Santa all last year with a mask.
Yeah.
And going around with the mask and the beard, and I had a fake beard then, and wearing the mask with the fake beard.
I spent a lot of time making
And
those
yeah,
masks.
you made really cool masks. I mean, you were amazing. You saved the day, I think. But it was
'cause
hard to breathe.
You didn't get sick. It was crazy.
I didn't get sick, but it was very exhausting. It was hard to breathe.
Because I was thinking this mask, based on everything that I was hearing about Omicron, I was thinking, oh my God, this mask is not going to do the trick because it was
Right.
it was a fabric mask.
Right.
And then because of the beard, the other masks just wouldn't work. Like the N95s look horrible on you,
Yeah.
and then the ones with the loops, like the KN95s, look horrible on you.
Wow.
So I was thinking, well, I can take the fabric masks and I'll take the N95s and I'll sew it into the fabric mask. So you had an N95 with a
I had layers.
thick layer of fabric.
You know what you can't do with all that?
Something very, very decorative. You looked good though.
Oh, thank
because
you.
it looked bad.
No, I liked. I was really afraid of what it was going to look like. You made it work. Your designs, it worked. People accepted it for
And
the
I
most
don't
part.
even sew anything.
Yeah, very
like
rare
I just learned, I
exception.
just taught myself
Yeah.
because I was like, this is like fight or flight, man. This
Yeah.
is life or death.
Mother
I
necessity.
didn't. I didn't want you to get sick.
Yeah. But I was saying,
And
you know the
somehow
good
you
thing?
didn't. You didn't.
With that mask on, I never snuck one cookie.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
can. I mean,
There's
Even
one
without
gig
the
that
beard.
felt weird. Like, why are you wearing a mask? And I was at I forget the name of the place downtown, real swanky event space.
that fancy place.
It was a fundraiser I've been doing for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And
That's a lot of
all
young
upper end,
folks.
but again, folks that can afford the stuff that weren't available to us
And
yet,
there's
right?
a lot of people in
And,
their 20s too. So it's like,
what's
well,
that?
It's a lot of people in their 20s too.
There were some younger people, the
Usually-
people that worked there, but it's
yeah.
also a lot of older money. And
I mean, when I think I did the 1 year with you, it was a lot of people in their 20s. So I was like thinking,
right.
well, he's twice your age, so
Right.
he's a much higher risk, and also you're a bigger guy,
Right.
so that makes you a higher risk.
I got
So
a lot of shame.
Everyone has to weigh their own risks, so.
Yeah, I got a lot of shame for wearing a mask that day. So why are you wearing a mask? Because there's 400 people
Because
in
I'm
this
older
space.
than you, I'm like twice your
Yeah.
age. Because
So,
other Santas are dying
right.
right now.
Yeah. And that's, I don't want to depress anybody, but I think that's why we're so busy now. Well, two things. There's a shortage of Santas.
There's just a
Right.
labor shortage everywhere.
There's a labor shortage everywhere, but a lot of Santas were older, passed away,
That's
or retired.
a
or
lot of them said, yeah.
a
the
lot
heck
of people
with
just
it.
left the business in general, not just Santas, actors that were like
It's not
barely
worth it.
making
They
it.
were weighing at the risk.
Yeah.
They're saying it's not worth it.
A lot of people we work with that were part-timers
Yeah.
got jobs doing copyright or like good blogging jobs even.
They got
Like,
real jobs.
And what I love about it, and it's sad on some levels, you're thinking, oh, it created a lot of work for us because as we come back, it's like I've been called upon to do things I've never done before in a good way. But as I said, the last 8 months though, we're busier now than we were before times. Because again, there's less competition and everybody all of a sudden needs laugh.
Right.
They need laughter, they need Santa, they need hope, they need something, they need
Yeah,
joy.
there's-
And that's like our brand, it's just laughter, right? It's the improv comedy, the Santa, we bring the laughs, we bring the joy.
I
That's
think
like
we
our
just reached a
brand.
point where people were saying, we're going to have to live with this.
Yeah,
We can't stay locked up in our homes forever.
right.
So I just part of me wish people would be a little bit safer.
Now, I've had so many vaccination shots and boosters, and I've had monoclonals when I had COVID, right? So I'm not that worried at this point. I figure if I get it, and I'm more afraid of losing work than my life. I'm getting sick for a week or two, right? What I keep going back to over the last 3 years is really our whole career of being self-produced artists for 20 years, with the Santa, Mrs. Claus, with the improv comedy. Now that we're doing murder mysteries too. And generally speaking, we started this company because after 9/11, it's like we moved to New York to be actors, not waiters. And so we realized, let's start auditioning. And through that, we found this company that we created 20 years ago. But it came out of that, what do we do now?
Right.
Our world feels totally
You
upended.
didn't think we could turn into a full-time job.
I still have doubts.
Yeah, I
but
know,
but
you do.
you were the driving force for 20 years.
You do.
Yeah.
You still have doubts.
Yeah, I still have doubts. Well, no, it's not even that. It's like every time I walk home and I can't walk because I'm exhausted. It says, man, if I just had a TV job, would I get that way on TV too. I get after being on set all day. But my point being, 9/11 happens. We regroup, and ends up creating this company that becomes our bread and butter, that allows us to quit our day jobs, and then 2008 happens. Economy crashes, right? And when everybody else quits the business or quits this or complain,
wasn't nearly as dramatic
complain. It was different though. But our corporate stuff dried up for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we pivot to do even more educational outreach. But we kept pivoting, we kept adapting, we kept adjusting, we kept taking you know, the tenacity. You know, we were tenacious when we needed to be. And I feel like the pandemic is just like another step of that, right? It's like we chose to figure it out. Wearing a mask, when do we stop wearing a mask? The weekend I stopped wearing a mask, I got COVID.
Yeah.
So maybe I was a week too soon. But again, it's that constant adjusting.
I got COVID because you stopped wearing
And
a
you
mask.
got COVID because I stopped wearing a mask and brought it home. But I'm
I
saying
don't
our
wanna talk about
success
pandemic
today.
stuff anymore.
No, I don't either. But I'm saying our
So it's,
success
like,
today.
so depressing.
But even like the last 8 months, all of a sudden, this company calls, "Hey, you want to do a murder mystery?" All right. Now we're doing murder mysteries 3 or 4 times a week,
Right.
and balancing that. And what I'm saying, it's the constant adjusting. It's like so many people just give up, and it's not judging either, because they made a choice that made sense for them. But because we were tenacious, we kept figuring it out. I'm so motivated that I don't want to go back to bartending, waiting tables, managing restaurants. I don't want to get a day job. I'm motivated enough that I want to figure out how to keep using my talents to pay the bills, even if that means driving 10 hours a day to and from a gig. Sometimes, you know, we've driven to Nebraska and back in a couple days to do a college job, right? What's your favorite part about doing Mrs. Claus?
Just like to, I like that it makes everyone happy.
Yeah,
People's just eyes light up
yeah,
when, I mean, they're mostly more excited to see you, but I get excited when I see people excited to see you.
Yeah.
So, especially when it's adults, it's like really
Yeah.
funny because they look like little kids.
I love that.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
They're like, Santa, and I see these adults. Sometimes they'll come up to you and they'll tell you some nice things, or they'll
Yeah.
tell you like their problems.
You know what I'm about to
It's kind
say?
of interesting.
I was about to say there's almost always one jerk in the crowd. I haven't seen that jerk this year.
Well, don't jinx it.
In college, somebody said, they're like a friend or a date or somebody at the cast party after a show, says, you know, do plumbers bring wrenches to the party after work, to the bar?
They said that to you?
Well, no, they're making joke because the actors are just doing nothing but talk about acting. They're talking about singing, talking about the business. You know, that's all we do. We get together.
Yeah, but you can.
And,
I don't. That's when I like hanging out with actors.
Well, no, it is, but some people come to Manhattan with an idea of what the business is,
Yeah, we did that once.
right? And we were those people. We did it wrong for a few years. We figured it out.
We're still not
Right?
doing it right.
I don't know. We're not waiting tables anymore. We're using our talents, doing a little
Don't
TV
jinx
here and
that
there.
either.
I don't want to jinx that, but you know, whether you produce a movie, produce a show, you just it did because just by
Well, that's
being in the
just doing it
clubs,
yourself, yeah.
I met my manager through other people just because we were in the clubs working all the time, or we're at the comedy club that day. MTV calls, hey, we need a fat guy with a hairy back. It was an opportunity. It wasn't a great paying job. It was that's my first time on TV. And luckily, my back is not as hairy as they needed. They added
Yeah.
fake hair. You know, that's a good sign. My Italian sweater was not, because I'm Irish, was not thick
Look,
enough.
you got to do whatever you need to do to get the work. So if
Yeah.
you just happen to have a hairy back, then
That's on my skill set now.
that's your yeah. You put on your
That's
resume.
on the resume.
I have a hairy back.
Opera, improv, hairy back. But we were doing the thing. You have to find a survivable job first.
You have to.
I think that's the
can't.
myth. I think that's the myth. That's why I'm always talking shop, because
You're
I have all of my
younger
young
self.
actors. I'm trying to say,
They have a lot more tools.
I'm
that
trying
we
to
didn't
train
have.
them to be more self-starting.
They have a lot more tools that we didn't have.
But they
You
don't
couldn't
use
just
them.
film yourself and put you on yourself on the internet and then blow up like you do.
I mean, a lot of them self-start on TikTok,
There's
right?
none of that.
And one or two do it right, but most don't use the tools they have.
It's really for that stuff. It's just about doing it every day.
Yeah.
Like if you're consistent with it, it'll eventually take off. But
Or they don't take
give
it
up.
seriously, because
No,
that's not what
no,
serious
you have,
actors
You
do.
have to be consistent. in what
It's
you're
all
doing.
marketing. That's the thing. It's not so much nepotism. There is nepotism involved, but it's
Good.
30 years of networking, marketing, self-creating, working, being a person that people want to work with, right? Repeat business. All of a sudden,
I'm falling
like,
asleep.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm talking.
Putting me to
I'm gonna put
sleep.
you to sleep with shop. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
I don't care anything but that. Anything but that.
I don't know. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. It hasn't
What?
been
There
easy.
you go.
What?
You've gone right back to it.
I'm just talking. I'm just trying to keep the conversation going. I miss singing opera.
Oh my gosh.
I miss doing more traditional acting sometimes.
Oh my God.
But at the
Why
same
are we
time,
talking about acting again?
I'm not talking about me. I'm narcissistic, but that's what it's all about. No, I'm kidding. And is Santa the most narcissistic character of all time?
No.
He's giving away, but is he giving away for the sake of giving, or is he giving away because, hey, look at me, I'm the guy who gives away stuff. Like, look at me, Mr. Moneybags. Hey, have some toys. Hey, I get all these cookies.
About it.
Like, if I had Elon Musk money, I'd take all that $44 billion and give kids toys. Yeah. Screw
toys.
Twitter. Screw Twitter. Is it free speech if you're paying $44 billion to talk?
Well, you're paying 44.
That's not free. He paid a
Now
lot
we're
of money for that
getting
free speech.
$44
I'm not getting political. No, that's not
billion
political. No,
to tell people that they have to listen to you talking
yeah.
smack about whatever.
Yeah.
They have to listen to your shit takes.
Nobody wanted to listen to him. He had to spend $44 billion
to get people to listen to your shit takes.
so people would listen to his
to your
BS.
hot takes. Yeah.
And pay the spiders to push his stuff. Do we feel like we have to leave Twitter now because of it?
No.
I don't think.
You have to leave.
Is Twitter still like?
You don't have to look at it. You just post to
Well, I
leave.
never look at it. That's the secret of social media. Never consume.
Don't look at it.
No,
Yeah.
use it it's a marketing tool. Never consume.
Well, if you try to scroll through stuff, it's almost all combative now, and it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was always a little bit combative, but now it's really combative. And I just am like, I don't want to combat. I'm not here for a virtual war.
No.
I'm here to like talk with people and interact with people and make funny comments.
Yeah.
Make jokes.
I miss 2015, where I thought there was a time where I could talk to people in a way that you're actually trying to convince each other in a semi-intelligent way.
Like an amicable discussion, an
A
exchange.
semi-amicable discussion.
Constructive.
Not even any passive-aggressive garbage.
Right.
Like just saying, this is why I believe this, and then punch hole in people's arguments with logic, not
Right.
just,
Ad hominem.
I'd say, I see what you're saying, but if you really play that out logically, like simple ethos, pathos, logos, you know what I mean? Basic logic. And I feel by the time you get to 2016, none of that's, all that's gone. On both sides. And it's not about the both sides thing, but I feel like when you try to have an argument or a discussion or anything, like an intelligent conversation
it
about
just became
something.
a big combat zone for trolling each
Yeah.
other. Like
Yeah.
All
of a sudden, I'm right, you're wrong, and you're an idiot because you don't believe what I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no conversation.
In my head, I'm back where I was 30 years ago. When I was in Italy for a couple weeks, I realized money goes really far in southern Italy. Not in northern Italy, but southern Italy. I don't know if that, now at the euro, I don't know if this works, but back in the day of the
this is a
lira.
different thing. That we
Could probably there are probably a couple countries you could still do this in, right? And you could go to a couple places still where the American dollar goes far enough where we could just save, we could sell the house, we could save the money.
All right, let's go.
Buy a boat, live
Okay.
on the beach, get
Yeah,
a.
but when I said I wanted to do that, you're like, are you crazy? We're not leaving.
Well, I didn't want to run away just because of COVID,
It wasn't just COVID, it was everything.
But now that everything came back, I'm like, yeah, what was I missing?
Then stop talking about it.
I don't know.
You're the one that put this idea in my head. You're like, oh, we could just go here and live here and no.
With that one apartment in
and
Panama,
then I'm
would've
thinking,
been
wow,
great.
why are we even here in the first place? Let's
Panama,
go.
right on the beach, $800.
And then when we go, and then you're like, no, we're not
Well,
leaving.
you didn't want to go because they didn't have two toilets. You insist, no, I got to have two toilets.
We absolutely have to have
I
two
could
toilets.
pee in the ocean if we're right there.
Fair.
If we own the space, I think it was a buy. It was like $80,000 to
think
have a 2-bedroom, 1 toilet on stilts in Panama on the Pacific side, less
Right.
storms.
Yeah, you still didn't want to go though.
Huh?
You didn't want to go though.
I was tempted. I was looking at that place, but you didn't want that place.
No.
You wanted to go to like Armenia or something like that in the middle of nowhere.
No, I didn't.
Where'd you want to go? Where'd you want to go?
Why did I want to go to Armenia?
I don't know. I thought expats in Panama seem to do okay.
Yeah.
No? We've come full circle to talking shop to like, we want to get the fuck out of America.
Santa, are you supposed to be cursing?
What's that?
Are you supposed to be cursing?
I don't know. You can believe it.
You feel like you're Brooklyn at heart or no?
I feel like a New Yorker. It's funny, we grew up in the same
Queens,
town, but
Washington
different high
Heights.
schools, so we never knew each other until college.
Philly.
Yeah.
We did?
We never met. We met in college, but we basically grew up in the same town.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I think we got delivered by the same doctor.
I think so.
Was it Mella? Or
I wasn't
Purdue?
delivered. No, that was our pediatrician. He wasn't a baby doctor. I got in trouble once for hitting my allergist. I like watching Ultraman and some other manga shows, and
Really?
I just did something where I was like, I like Ultraman. I went chop,
Karate chop them?
and I karate chopped my allergist. I got in trouble, and I wasn't allowed to
Yeah,
watch
you should've.
Ultraman or other like manga TV
How
shows.
old were you?
I was like 5.
Oh,
Yeah, I was getting
Yeah.
allergy shots. You know,
yeah.
it scratched the back.
You're lucky. You're lucky they didn't chop you back.
Well, I don't think he's allowed to. I think that there are laws about
I
that.
don't know, man.
Yeah.
You feel like karate chopping
Yeah.
your doctor.
Well, he was an allergist.
All right,
I
well,
don't know. I don't know what that means. But
I think they're doctors.
allergists should expect that kind of thing. You know,
Really?
all of us kids with allergies, we're all problem children.
That makes sense.
I don't know what I mean by that.
It all makes sense now. There was a time where I guess we got like a cab driver when you were dressed as Santa. And we get this cab driver, and he's really excited because he's got Santa in the cab. He's really excited. He was so nice, and he drove us home. I think we were living in Washington Heights, so he drove us all the way home. And we had all our stuff. You had like a big suitcase of stuff from doing Santa gigs. You had all your stuff. And for some reason, like the next day, we flagged down another cab, and it was the same guy. And he was just like ecstatic. I mean, this guy was like, I can't believe I got you again.
That's right. That was
Remember that
amazing.
guy?
Yeah.
That was so funny. I'll never forget that.
This is going way back, 2003 maybe. I was still doing that promotional job in SoHo, corner house in Broadway, clothing store, second floor. I'm going, hey, come on in, buy I think it was all fake crap. Later we learned, but Ferragamo, Diesel, Armani, right? Oh, yeah, make me look pretty. But there was a shoplifter came busting out, and I was dressed as Santa. I started dressing as Santa at that gig just to be warm. So I was dressed as Santa because you're covered in basically a bear rug. And next thing you know, I'm running down Broadway between Houston and Prince.
And you chased after the thief?
Heading towards Spring. And I'm just running after him and going, and the whole neighborhood, and the neighborhood all knew me as the guy that sings on the corner trying to get you to buy crappy clothes. And Ferragamo.
Wait, you were chasing a guy?
And I was for weeks, months, years, people talking about it. I was only there for a few more months, I think. We're like, oh my God, remember that time that Santa you were chasing down the
Did you catch him?
shoplifter? I think we got him. Well, like the whole neighborhood is like stop. I'm very noticeable. When you see Santa hoofing it down Broadway in rush hour traffic and chasing after this guy. It's like a bad Jim Belushi movie or something. From 80s buddy cop. Santa and the man.
That sounds like a really, really funny sketch.
What I love about what we do, I'm not going to talk about money, I'm not going to talk about anything. The last 20 years, I think the coolest thing about what we've done, just doing improv comedy for a living, every day is different. You know, there's no shows the same. Santa is basically improvisation.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
I sometimes wonder, we'll get ourselves, like, because we don't really say no to anyone if they're paying us.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes I'm just sitting there going, how do we get ourselves into this?
But yeah, that's what it is, though. You say yes. You don't have the luxury of saying no.
You don't know what you're getting yourself
You either say yes or you go get a waiting job.
Yeah.
You say yes and you figure it out. Our whole company, the fact that we do kids theater. Somebody called, hey, can you do improv at a school? You're paying us, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And now that's like our bread and butter is doing improv comedy for
You
schools.
like bread and butter.
I love bread and butter. I'm a carb, too many carbs. But that became our bread and butter, doing improv comedy shows for schools, field trips, assemblies, professional development, you name it. Yeah.
I'll never forget Connecticut show we were doing at this. It was like a PTA night.
It's always Connecticut. Oh, that one.
And the kids.
Just when we know exactly where you're going.
I don't know why they took their shoes off, but they ended up throwing them at us.
Yeah.
We got shoes thrown at us.
Yeah. So that's the problem. When the parents don't do anything, like, there's only so much we can do.
I mean, basically, we're like, we stopped when they threw the shoes. We're like, we're going to stop the show. You guys got to come get your shoes.
And every once in a while, Santa has that too. Like, it's like, I can only do so much dressed up like this.
Right.
I'm not
Especially
here.
when you get the
I'm not a babysitter.
The older kid that's like ruining it for everyone else. They're like, I don't believe in Santa.
And 90% of the time, 99% of the time, it's
like,
amazing.
Shh, don't ruin it
But
for the little kids.
Right.
Yeah, the kids, it's like, Santa's not real.
But what I love, though, even the bad situations.
Oh, I think it's funny.
Right, we have great
I
stories.
used to laugh about it.
We have great experiences.
I laugh at the kids
and
were
it keeps
doing.
it interesting. Yeah.
I was like, this is funny.
And then for all those weird stories, there's just been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of just like, wow, that was a great gig.
Oh, I love the
That
weird.
was
I like the
fun.
weird stuff.
99% of it's like, oh, our mission, again, I go back to, is bring laughter and joy. And
Yes, bring laughter
most
and
of
joy.
the gigs, we leave thinking this is why we do what we do.
Usually.
Yeah, but there's those ones when it doesn't work. That's comedy.
Tick, tick, boom. Who bringing the noise? Go, baby, we bringing our toys.
I'm a butterfly, taking my time. I'm a skeleton.